Carl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's horror movie review time. Promising more than it can deliver. The concept of stop motion is both intriguing and exciting, an experimental and original idea executed to the best of everyone's ability. Yet the end result is mostly style over substance and falls short in some very important areas.
Such a morbid imagination. Bringing dead things to life.
Aisling Franciosi stars, and goodness does she stand out, as Ella Blake. We're introduced to her as she works on a traditional form of stop-motion animation alongside her elderly mother, played by Stella Gonnet. Ella is a highly talented artist, but so was her mother, who is now suffering from severe arthritis in her hands. This is why Ella is working with her, helping her finish her final film by doing the laborious task of slowly manipulating the figures and capturing each frame. Early on, it's made quite clear that the mother-daughter relationship is not healthy, and that there is a large degree of manipulation coming from the mother and being used to force Ella to help. It's on the nose, but there's a clear comparison made in the early part of the film about control. Puppetry, so to speak.
Hey, she emerges from her cave.
Ella.
When do you think you'll finish this film of yours?
I don't know.
What's all that stuff?
It's called stop motion animation.
What do you think?
It's a bit boring.
It's not finished. It's not boring.
Make a new one.
A new one.
Yeah. I know a better story.
Being manipulated by her mother isn't Ella's only problem though, as she is clearly depressed as she struggles to find her own identity. She wants to do her own things, be her own creator, but is lacking the spark needed. She just doesn't know who she is, and living in the shadow of her mother isn't helping. Then, unfortunately, her mother has an accident and dies. Wanting to honour her mother and cut the strings that have held her back for so long, Ella decides to finish the film they were working on, seeing this as an opportunity to free herself. She enlists the help of her boyfriend Tom, played by Tom York, who finds her an apartment that she can work in, with the thinking being that she can finally be her own person and find her own voice, which I think is actually a good idea, so to speak, until Ella meets a young girl played by Kalian Springall who has different ideas. She finds Ella's current project extremely boring and encourages her to come up with something more unique, something more her, which includes Ella rethinking the materials as well she uses to bring her new story to life. Unsurprisingly, things are beginning to go off the deep end, but that's something that's going to get worse as Ella's obsession with a new project deepens and deepens. Reality is beginning to blur as Ella both figuratively and literally tortures herself to create something that will show the world that she is somebody.
She's scared. There's someone coming.
It is fair to say that while there isn't much original about the tortured artist character and them losing their minds slowly to their work, stop motion does at least take a different approach. By combining Ella's story with the madness of her stop motion project slowly coming to life and seen by the viewer, the experience is much more surreal and memorable. It certainly helps that the story Ella creates is quite dark and the puppet designs are delightfully grisly. All of this and its effect is expertly showcased by Aisling Franciosi in the Ella role, playing the tortured artist character so well that it almost outweighs the negatives of the film. From the moment she first appears on screen, dead behind the eyes and clearly depressed, to a manic obsession over the stop motion project, to the horrifying moments that close out the film, she is outstanding. Alas, she is the only outstanding thing about stop motion, as the overall experience, in particular the narrative and the pacing around it, is wholly disappointing. Not only is the story surprisingly predictable, it takes the most blasé of routes too, filled with predictable turns, character decisions, cliches and more. It's actually quite surprising to see such an avant-garde idea be so basic. Inevitably, this, alongside the fact that it can be extremely slow, means the more impressive stop motion and surrealism sections start to lose their impact. It's hard to be as engaged by them when everything else is so bland. If this wasn't bad enough, any nuances around psychological exploration, they're thrown away in favour of on-the-nose references or statements. It is so disappointing, as the concept is sound and the lead acting is fabulous. Sadly, stop motion ends up being all style and no substance, and inevitably leaves the overpowering stench of disappointment in its wake. What do you reckon? Have you seen it? Do you have an opinion? You know what to do? Let me know what it is in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.